So hey there everyone. It is early o'clock on a Sunday morning and I thought I would get up this morning and demo a little bit of how I prep my pages and maybe do one of these videos at every stage to help you to figure out how to move your pages along. So I have no plan in sight. I have a few things. I have tape, I have gesso, I have my acrylic paints, I have some brushes, glue, and my pastels. And that's more than enough, I think, to get us moving along. So I was going to do this in my notebook, but I realized I left it in the office yesterday. So I figured, what the hell? The idea for Journey started in this journal. So I'm going to go ahead and do this first demo in this page. So what I have here is an index card for my kids. And just because it occurred to me as I was walking towards the table to grab it, I'm going to go ahead and stick it in. And I'm just using some tape here, some colorful tape, which I have used a lot in this journal. And I'm going to stick it in. I'm going to tear tape here. Can you see that? Just so that it flaps. And I'm going to reinforce the back with some more tape. So it becomes like a little tiny page within my page. And if you notice, I'm not being very precious about how the tape goes on. I'm not using scissors. I'm just ripping it. And so now I'm going to go into my gesso with a little water, because this gesso is as old as the moon and the stars. This journal, the paper is not very strong, so I guess it's kind of like the books that we've been working on. And I'm going to gesso this note page too, just because I'm not thinking about it. So I'm probably going to demo a few ways that I get my pages started. But gesso is a good first step, just to help the process along and to make sure that, you know, we have a good sturdy start. So what I'm probably going to do is not talk through this whole thing so that I can speed some sections up when I edit the video, which hopefully will be today. And if you notice, I'm not completely soaking my page with gesso. I'm just putting on almost a dry brush, actually, approach. And that's because I'm impatient and I don't want to have to wait too long for layers to dry. So sometimes I do tend to be a little bit drier in my approach. Other times, not so much. Like I'm dipping my brush in now, get some water, and I'm coming back over. So this is typically how I would go about starting a page if the paper was not very thick. So I'm going to have some noise in the background. Yes, Mom? No, I'm talking to the journal. Ooh, I like that. I like how this imprint of this page onto this page left some lines. Okay, so let me check in with Mom and see what she needs. Okay, so we're back. I'm gonna call that done. And so one of the ways I like to get started is by collaging down papers. And this is actually, I bought some gauze pads, and each gauze pad is separated by these very thin papers. And so when I dyed the gauze pads in turmeric, I didn't realize these papers were there, and so they got dyed too. So now they're yellow. And this is my white glue. I'm just going to take a brush to help me get some of that out of there. There we go. I think I like this little flat brush better. Okay, let's That's a lot of glue. So once again, without too much thinking about it, no rhyme or reason, I'm just gonna go ahead and get some glue down and get some of these papers down. Not thinking about it too much. Mom, I'm recording, huh? Oh, the glass bear mug? So I think somebody was doodling on this paper. I just found it on the couch. So I thought, why not add this in there too? So there it goes. Where's my glue brush? There we go. So why did I decide to go over here for the next piece? I have no idea. Just seemed like a good idea at the time, because I'm not really thinking about it too much. And that's what I want you to get. In order to allow intuition to happen, you have to sort of allow intuition to happen. And just surrender to not knowing even what you're doing. which for me is not hard. I guess I've had a lot of practice. So I have to tell you that in truth, one of the things that's scariest about art journaling for me is the extent to which I've become such a junkie. And my supplies, maybe one of these days I'll let you see what my stash actually looks like. It can become quite an addictive process, but we're not going to worry about that too much. So even these little tiny pieces here make wonderful texture onto your page. So today, this page, I'm starting with collage, but I don't necessarily start every page with collage. And I will try to prep a couple of other pages just so that you get an opportunity to see that. I use this card here to make sure I have good adhesion of paper to paper. And this is just a hotel room key card that I walked out with accidentally. Okay, so what colors are feeling good to me today? I'm gonna start, I think, my trusty old palette here, which is the bottom of a, I think it's the bottom of a part tray of a plant thing, a planter. There we go. So I'm not thinking about it too much. I grabbed some paints from out of my studio and brought them up. I don't really have a plan, but I just took whatever felt good at the time. And these are my pastels. These are different from the ones that I got you because I can't find these here. These are Crayola Portfolio Series pastels. And why I like these, let me show you the box. Why I like these is because they are water soluble. So you can, in addition to blending them and all the things you can do with the ones I got you, you can also use them with water. So I'm not sure if you can see everything that I'm doing here. I'm just doodling. And doodling is a wonderful way to get started with your pages. So I'm doodling, I'm not really thinking about what I'm doodling. And actually I've never done this doodle before, but I like to doodle, so I'll just do a few dots here, knowing that most of this is going to go away and get covered up, but it's just a way to get my page started. Now I'm going to get some of this paint on. But you know, as always happens, I put out 2 blues and a red, and now I'm feeling green. So there we go with green. And at this point, I'm not mixing paints. I'm just using them straight out of the tube. I'm really liking these lines here, so for right now, I'm not trying to go over those. I hope you can see. This videotaping system here is not the best, but I haven't quite figured it all out yet. So I'm moving up into this upper corner with some of the green, and I'm going very watery with this green. And now I'm coming across here onto my flap, and now I am feeling blue. So I'm going to go in with some of the blue. I have not, because blue and green are both cool colors, I haven't rinsed my brush. And you don't have to rinse your brush if you're in the same family. So these are the cool colors. Refer to your cheat sheet. did rinse this time because now I'm going in for a warm color. Just squeezing off the excess water off of my brush onto a paper towel because I'm going to go a little bit drier brush with this. Brushes really do sometimes frustrate me. So, and I'm keeping the paint pretty thin so that there is the opportunity for transparency to allow other things to show through. And I'm not really worrying about it. I'm just getting it on the page. So this bit up here is a bit watery, so I like drips. So I'm going to tilt my page up and allow it to drip. Maybe I'll smush it down. So all of these are just some ways of making marks on your page and getting started. So on my trusty paper towel here, I'm going to wipe off this paint. Why? Because later on that becomes an interesting layer to add into my painting. And in the process, I'm also sort of drying my page because I'm impatient and I don't want it to, and I'm too lazy to go get my dryer. Ooh, I like that. So since I like it, I think I might keep it. I'm just gonna take some glue. And adhere this bit right where it is. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see what I see? I like this transparency that was created when the paper got wet. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it right down here. Figure out how I'm getting rid of the excess after the fact. There we go. I seldom like straight edges, so I'm just going to rip these straight edges off. Ooh. And help this bad boy to stick down. So by taking off one of the layers of tissue paper, I'm making it even more transparent. I didn't do the groceries, and Mommy Terrence did. And so this is what happens, you know, you sit down and you're art journaling and you're having a conversation about who bought what. There's my trusty card here. I don't mind wrinkles and bubbles and rips. It just all adds more texture to the page. But what I do mind is that things get adhered, because I'm putting it on there because I want it on there. So by adding layers of tissue and other things, you create dimension and depth to your page. And for me, art journaling is a lot about the process too. It's not really only about the product. It's about what I discover about myself along the way in the process of our journaling. And I do like to spread the love around, so I don't think I've done anything on this inside flap here. Make sure it doesn't get stuck down. Okay, so I think I'm going to add some of this tissue onto this flap. Again, I'm not being too precious about it. I'm just slapping some glue on and slapping some paper down. And this tissue paper has a nice concentric circle pattern, which is interesting. Okay, I may have to cave in and dry things. So these little edges here, I'm just going to fold them over and tape them down to the other side. Paste them down to the other side. And I'm going to call this background prepped. So let's see, make sure that you can see the whole thing. This is a good start. This is a good start. It's got lots of texture, color. I'm no longer staring at the scary blank page, and I'm good to go. It's got interest with this flap. What would I do with it? Will I journal on it? Will I write my secrets in here? I don't know, but we'll soon find out.